Besnick here, and I'm guessing if you've seen the thumbnail, you're here to take apart and clean your PS2. Need a couple of items. Isopropyl alcohol is pretty good for cleaning it, and you're going to want microfiber cloths and some cotton buds or Q-tips if you're American. For those of you wanting to do a deeper clean, you will need some specialised smaller screwdrivers like those used for repairing glasses. That'll be later on in the video. So step one, you're going to want to remove the back panel. This is easy to get to. Mine's only got a couple of screws because I'm using the network adapter, but you might have a black panel there that says expansion bay on it. You want to remove this and just clean inside there. Okay, so next up you want to take off the case. You want to flip it so the console is upside down. And then what you need to do is get the little pop bits out. The best way to do this, I find, is using a small screwdriver or something with a sharp edge to pop them out. And then you want your Phillips head screwdriver or your star screwdriver to undo the screws. And a big tip as well, when you're taking out the screws, place them in order behind the PlayStation or to the side in the order they came out. Next up, to be able to take the casing apart, you're going to have to void that warranty that probably expired for some of you before you were even born, because it was 22 years ago.
No disassemble!
So after that important step, which will allow you to take the case apart, and also that satisfying sound that you just heard. When already done so, you want to flip your console back over to its regular position, so not upside down any longer. You want to flip it back over, not stood up however. Once you've done that, you want to remove the cover, so just be gentle, lift from the back first, always lift this very, very slowly towards you to free it from the reset and eject button, and then as you lift it, flip from the left to the right because you don't want to destroy the ribbon underneath. In this video I'm showing you how to remove the reset button and the eject button, but my advice, if you don't have to, just leave it where it is. It's a pain in the ass to get out and even more of a pain to put back. Now we have the top cover off, you can see inside, you can see most of the components, and you can see here the dirt has really built up inside. We're going to go through cleaning this all the way around, each component at a time, starting with the top cover. Because I disconnected it, you can run it under the water. I don't suggest this, however, because it has tiny screws and little mechanisms in there. I advise just maybe polishing it and tidying it up with your Q-tips or your cotton bud. So next up, before getting into the detail, you're going to want to disconnect the bottom half of the cover as well. So you want to hit all these gold screws I'm showing you around the components, disconnect all of them, and then the bottom half will come away. The first two golden screws are found at the front where the controller port and memory card slots are. There's one each side of that, and you want to take both of them out. And there are also two more at the back, one in between the fan and the power supply and one underneath the power supply. And again, after unscrewing all the gold screws, you want to place them somewhere safe for when you put it back together, in the same process as you did with the black screws. So try and remember where they go to make life a little bit easier. Finally, once you've done that, put all the components gently back on top of each other and then remove all the inners away from the bottom. The bottom should come away nice and easy. It might be a little bit stiff if it's not been taken apart before. Just give it a little wiggle and it will gently free itself. Again, as you can see, this is a place where a lot of dirt will collect. This one I do advise rinsing under the water just to get it off real quick. You can rub it down in microfiber cloth again, and also use your Q-tips or cotton buds to clear all the little areas. So now, as mentioned, we're just going to go through each component slow time. So first up, you've got the controller port with the memory card slot. Just be careful of the ribbon, not to pull it out too far, otherwise it will disconnect. I will show you a video of how to fix that later on, as I did exactly this. When I put it back together, my controller port wasn't working. Throughout all of this, I suggest using the cotton buds and the isopropyl alcohol to clean these parts. But you can use a toothpick as well to get to those hard to reach places. We'll get to this bit later. We'll take this cover off. This bit here, that was mega dusty, especially inside there. You've still got little bits obviously inside there that I can't get out in a moment, but I'll use a toothpick later. I'll get that out. So clean the front bit, and then I was going to work my way around really. So start on the side, done this little bit here, clean that up. So at this point in the video, that's a basic clean. If you wish to put the cover back on and put it all together now, that will probably do you. For those of you who want to go a bit more in depth, I'm going to show you how to take the disc cover off as well. Okay, so first up, to take the cover off, you're going to take out the small black screws. There's 4 of them. You'll need some glass repair screwdrivers or smaller screwdrivers to get to these. Okay, now for the really important part. If you've switched off listening to my dreary tones, now's probably the time to listen. Just be safe whilst doing this part. Plug it in, click it on, open it up, and then just disconnect and turn it off as soon as possible. Plug it in. Watch your fingers, everything else, because you haven't got the safety features, it's open. So turn it on. Okay, and then down here you've got your reset and your eject. So of course you're going to want to push your eject. And then what you want to do is turn it off again and then unplug it. A little bit harder to do once I'm trying to use it with my fingers. That way then you've got no power. And that opens up this part here underneath the disc tray. Unfortunately you can't pull it forward or it will break, so you have to do it this way. After that, don't forget to clean the disc tray itself, close it back up, put the lid back on, then you want to put the black screws in that you place nice and neatly to the side, followed by the gold screws. I'll put these in pictures just to make it a little bit easier. I forgot where one of them went, especially the one underneath the fan, which is a bit tricky. This one at the end here. Make sure you put them all in, and then that will keep the bottom case secure. Okay, so after you've placed the bottom case back on, you want to slide in all the extremities. You will need to put your power supply in the back, just slide that down. Your fan should also slide back in on top if it's not already within the case. So you've done the hard bit. We're just putting the top case back on. Just make sure when you're doing it, just in the reverse order, put it back over to the left to avoid the ribbon breaking. You want to put the reset button in line with the top and the eject button in line with the bottom, and then just slide it backwards. So the disc tray obviously lines up as well, and that's it, you're done. One last thing to do, now it all looks nice and neat together, is flip it back over and put those screws into the bottom that you also positioned nicely, hopefully to the side before. Hopefully this video was helpful for you on how to clean your PS2. Maybe you can use it in the future again to strip down your PS2 to fix any components you need to within. I advise doing this maybe once or twice a year, but you don't need to strip it down regularly. Just keep on top of it, keep it clean, keep your room clean, and it should last you a longer time hopefully.